Okay, a few words about creating custom sources. In the previous part, we learned how to build custom sources with on a low level with a pure DLT, I would say. And a few months ago, we released a few helpers, REST API client and REST API source, which can help you build these custom sources even faster. Let's start with REST API client. It's a mid-level of, it's a lower, it's not pure DLT, but it's still low level building blocks for sources. It supports automatic pagination, various authentication mechanisms, and you can easily customize it, everything. We have extensive documentation about it. If you're interested, you should look into it. Let's see the GitHub example. As you remember from the previous part, that it's quite easy to create DLT sources, resources with requests library. So you just setting pagination, provide some authentication in get method. Yeah, so you can put here headers or something. Then you declare DLT resource. Okay, we're using DLT source to declare DLT source and yield the data. Decorator, yeah, oh my God. Yeah, so we can do the same with REST API client, but we can avoid this part. Just define the client, provide base URL, authentication type, or you can even skip it because DLT automatically checking if your API has some familiar authentication type and apply it. For example, we don't need to provide authentication type for GitHub because GitHub has bare token authentication. It's super simple, straightforward, and easy to recognize. We declare a client, and we can use get method and see what we get. Yeah, so it works perfectly. We're just getting our data from GitHub issues. So in this method, we just provide the path to your endpoint. Let's add pagination. Of course, this example is just a toy example. Nobody uses it, just one page, yeah. Let's add pagination. DLT also handling pagination type recognition. So it's trying to guess what type of pagination you have. Check in. If it works well, it goes on. If not, it's just failing. And you need to add your custom pagination or set it explicitly. So it's also easy to use. Also define client, provide all information about your REST API, and paginate over endpoint. You can explicitly provide it like this. So DLT has many types of paginators. You can find them at our documentation page. And GitHub has quite also popular type of pagination, header link pagination. So let's try to declare a resource. So because now we're just printing data, yeah, we're not loading it anywhere. And we can declare a source as usually we do with a decorator, with a declaring function, and yielding the data. So we iterate over the data and yield the data. Very simple. And as usual, we just run the pipeline, and it works perfectly. And this client is also quite powerful. You can add incremental loading as usual because we're declaring resources with pure DLT. So it's all the same, just declaring cursor and provide a parameter we want to use for request. For example, we want to load only data which were updated since some data, yeah. Run the pipeline and see that first run loaded all data, and the second run haven't loaded anything. Let's add another endpoint. We just also declare another resource, all the same. So the only difference, it's a name. Yeah, it's a name. It's an endpoint name, and that's it. Same way, you can add DLT transformer. So it's same things from the previous part of workshop. And now we start with something more interesting. Let's talk about REST API source. REST API source is a verified source which was built by DLT Hub team. It reuses REST API client and make the process of creating custom sources even easier because you just need to configure the dictionary and run the pipeline. So first we need to initialize this source. Actually, soon we're going to move this source into DLT core because it's became super popular. Don't need to init, but now you should. So first, initialize the source with the command init, the name of source, and destination. Let's build the baseline. The only thing we should do is just to fill the dictionary. It's a type dictionary, so it has some required fields. Let's see how we can configure it. First, we need to describe the client. Yeah, what REST API we're gonna request. Set base URL, our old good DLT hub. Then we describing all resources we wanna load. It's a list of dicts with the name of resource and path of endpoint. In our case, it's issues. So let's get data from the source. We can see that we import REST API source from the REST API we initialized before and pass this configuration GitHub config into this REST API source function. It creates DLT sources for each endpoint. Yeah, let's look at the data. It retrieves data. That's good. Let's go further. Yeah, let's add authentication to this configuration. As in the previous part about REST API client, we discussed that we can have many types of authentication and DLT can handle many of them. So in our case, we should provide a GitHub token for authentication, and we can just set, say, token and the value. That's it. And DLT will check what kind of pagination or what kind of authentication GitHub API has and where it should put the token. Yeah. And also, you can provide any parameters in the endpoint, and even you can make it incremental. So you just configure the parameter you want to. For example, since, as you remember, we discussed that since returns only data which were updated after the specific date. Yeah, our initial data on the first run, and on the next runs, since the last value. Yeah, you can easily add more endpoints, like a list of dicts. Yeah, for example, we have first endpoints, issues, add another endpoints, pools. We can add many of them, all of them, doesn't matter. In this case, we had a lot of repetitive information, like params, yeah, and it means we can extract this repetitive data to defaults. So we have resource defaults where we can set primary key, prior disposition, and endpoints parameters. You can even use transformers, DLT transformers, with this declarative interface. First, you need to add it as a regular endpoint in the list of dicts and set the parent endpoint and the path. Path will be variable which will change based on the parent endpoint information. Yeah, actually, this REST API source is very powerful. You can do a lot of things with it. Sometimes you need to customize parts, for example, authentication or pagination. You also can provide it as a Python objects here. So that's it about REST API source and creating custom sources. So guys, would you use this REST API source for your projects? If yes, tell us in comments. If no, also tell us in comments, and also why. Okay, let's go further. We have in our agenda 2 more topics. Next. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you for mentioning. Now we're gonna discuss custom destinations. Yeah. As you remember, you can load your data using DLT to any destination you want, and DLT has some built-in destinations, for example, DuckDB, BigQuery, Snowflake, Postgres, and many more. And recently you asked in comments why we do not have MySQL destination. Yeah, that's a fair question. And what to do if we don't have it? You can, for this purpose, DLT Hub team built DLT Destination Decorator. This decorator enables you to easily capture all data flowing through a pipeline within a single function. This is particularly useful for reverse ETL, where data is sent back to an API. For custom destinations, like sending data to a queue or a database that DLT doesn't natively support, okay, you get it. Note that in such cases, you'll need to manage migrations manually. And the last case for direct file access. It's allowing you to work with a path to your normalized data files, such as Parquet or JSON lists, which can then be transferred or loaded into a database as needed. For this collab, we will take a top-down approach, starting with an example and then exploring all the intricate functionalities. We will try to load our data from GitHub to Notion. We do not have built-in destination, Notion destination, so let's see how to build it ourselves. Of course, we can move our data directly with a Notion client, but in this case, you won't get any DLT benefits. Let's talk about it a little bit more. So long answer, yeah. If you have a custom destination and want to leverage all of the DLT functionalities, like configurations, schema creation, and everything else, and you can load so you should use the DLT decorator. Oh my god, why I forget this word? Short answer, there's no other way if you want to use custom destination. Let's see how we can do that. First, we're gonna prepare Notion credentials, programmatically create a database for our data, wrap our Notion client with a DLT destination, and run incremental pipeline. First, we're installing DLT and Notion client, set up credentials. You can set up them here if you're working with Colab, but I do not recommend you work in Colab in production, especially just for educational purpose. Then we create a database in our Notion. Yeah, or can do it manually using UI, and we're gonna reuse our GitHub sources. So it's our typical DLT source. We're defining pagination. We setting DLT resource for issues, ELT data. So it's all as before, nothing changed. And the only change, we added transformer for issues. I've been trying to get extra information about issues like titles, ID, URL created. And okay, now it's the most interesting part of this section. We're building Notion destination. We just, it's happening just as you would do that yourself without DLT destination, yeah, you just define client, you iterating over data, and create pages for each data, for each item. So that's how its approach you would use without DLT, yeah, to load your data to Notion. But if you add DLT decorator, you will get all DLT destination benefits, all functionality. For example, you can provide the configuration here. Yeah. So let's run the pipeline and see that all data was loaded. And let's see what happened actually here. When we, okay, let me show you how we provide custom destination in our pipeline. So we're defining DLT pipeline as usual, setting pipeline name, and in destination, instead of BigQuery or DuckDB, we're providing our function just like this, and run the pipeline. That's all. During the running, this function will get data from the resource, get issues, and actually from the extract properties, because in this pipeline we run it only for extract properties. It means it will load it only this kind of data. Yeah, title, number, URL, and create it. And yeah, so this function will get data from the resource, and table contains the schema it will create, DLT will create, and yeah, and credentials. So it's quite simple and easy to use. Feel free to experiment and share your work.